Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl News. My name is Brian, and Donald Trump is about to sign an order to ban transgenders from competing in women's sports. And if anyone ever says Donald Trump doesn't protect women, just show them this video of him doing more to protect women than any Democrat. Let's dive in.
We're honored to be joined today by many incredible advocates for women's sports, including the brave swimmer at the forefront of this battle. And Riley Gaines is a person that I've been watching. Yeah. She fought hard. Riley was a 12-time All-American. Well, that's pretty good. 12-time All-American who sacrificed countless hours in the pool just for a chance at the title. It's so important to her. She gave up everything and just gave everything she had. But then the league forced her to share a spot on the podium with a male swimmer who took her trophy while the media celebrated this stolen glory. And Riley is just a tremendous athlete, and it was a very unfair situation. I watched it. A lot of people watched it. It was ridiculous, frankly. But I want to thank Riley. She really has been in the forefront. People that aren't that well versed in this would say that she was the leader. And great job, Riley. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And also with us is another great champion for women, Peyton McNabb. In high school, Peyton was a rock star athlete. Where is Peyton? Where is Peyton? I like Peyton. Nice to see you. Good job. Good job. Looks like a good athlete to me. In high school, Peyton was a rock star athlete preparing for a future in college sports. But in one volleyball match, a much taller and stronger male spiked the ball right in her face, knocking her unconscious, partially paralyzing her right side and leaving her with a traumatic brain injury. And Peyton said it was 100% avoidable if only my rights as a female athlete had been more important than a man's feelings. And we can't let it happen, and it's not going to happen. Not going to happen anymore, Peyton. It's not going to happen. Are you okay? Are you good?
I'm doing a lot better.
Good. That's good. Thank you. We're also pleased to be joined by many incredible leaders on this issue. And as I mentioned before, Speaker Mike Johnson, and he has been so strong on this issue because he's a man of common sense. I mean, it really is. It's common sense more than anything else. So, Mike, thank you. Great job. Great job in everything. He's got the easiest job of any politician in history. He's got the nicest, like 200 and almost 20. It sort of varies depends on how many people I take from my administration. It goes up and down a little bit, but I promised I won't take any more. I just wanted to see how good he was. I was testing you. And we have some great people, but he's filling them up rapidly. He had some big wins the other day, very big wins the other day. But you've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate it. We all appreciate it. You know, if you'd like to gather around me, I think I'm going to be okay. Come on. Come on. Secret Service is worried about them. If we have to worry about them, we have big problems. Okay, do you want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen.
Thank you.
I'll give some of these out, okay? Take a pen. Take a pen.
Thank you so much.
Where's Riley?
Y'all, thank you, Mr. President, all right? And also, big thank you to the people who quite literally had to take one for the team. For the past few years, we have had to see this insane idea that men should be able to compete in women's spaces. Okay, that is fundamentally unfair. Didn't we already learn from the Battle of the Sexes, that tennis match 40 years ago, where the top female player went up against one of the top male players and just got smoked? Then even, I think it was either Venus or Serena. It was one of the Williams sisters. That even when some ESPN host said, well, why aren't you considered one of the top athletes? And she just kind of had to look left and look right and said, even with my abilities, and both of those sisters are just built. All right, they're fantastic athletes and a testament to women's sports. But even they were smart enough to understand that they probably couldn't beat the number 200 ranked men's team. Men's player. Okay? The U.S. women's soccer team went up against a bunch of 15-year-old high school kids and a bunch of retired former soccer players and got smoked by both teams. Okay? It is okay to say that there is a fundamental difference between male bodies and female bodies. Mainly because male bodies, we produce more testosterone, we have higher muscle mass, slightly stronger bone density, our eyesight is typically a little bit better, our hand-eye coordination is better. It's okay to admit this. But it's not okay to exploit that system and say, well, I changed my gender, I am now going to switch sides. That used to be a plot of a comedy, and now is the plot of a tragedy that is finally being reversed. All right, let me put it to you in another way before I even get into Riley Gaines and one of the other ladies here. Her story is even worse. I had almost forgotten about this. But I want to bring up J.K. Rowling. And she was smart enough to say that even though she basically enabled the worst of the young left with their ridiculous fan fictions and their overt love for Harry Potter that's a little bit creepy at some point, she finally had to say, look, I needed a space for women to write. We need and we deserve to have our own spaces. And that's perfectly normal. That's an understandable thing in the human condition, okay? There's a reason we have HBCUs. There's a reason why we have country clubs. There's a reason why everyone wants their own little slice of heaven here and there. And I think we should be allowed to pursue that. I think that is fundamental in the idea of the pursuit of happiness. And when you're talking about having a male compete in a female space, all of a sudden that veil, that heaven that you're trying to create from yourself gets torn in two. It no longer works and functions the proper way. Because it is ultimately a way for a man to say, hey, I'm going to come in and invade your space. That is fundamentally unfair. That is being changed under this administration. And once again, I'll get to Riley Gaines in just a moment. But I also want to I want to remind y'all, Donald Trump was not a big culture warrior guy, okay? He could have cared less about the culture war in his first campaign in 2016. He avoided it like the plague. Well, now in his first 100 days, okay, and we're barely starting this administration, he's already signed a Protect Women's Sports bill, but he's signed an executive order to protect women in women's sports. He has already been able to talk down one of his hopefully top advisors in RFK Jr. to not talk about abortion, okay? Because he's a pro-choice dude. But in his deposition hearings in the Senate, he avoided those questions like the plague. He didn't want to deal with that because he wants to make America healthy again. So that's just an example of how Trump has been pushed into new territory because 4 years ago, he still wasn't caring about the culture war. Now he does. Congratulations, Democrats. You earned this. And by the way, speaking of earning things, Riley Gaines has, like I said earlier, taken one for the team, but there's someone else that should have gotten a little bit more, recognition here. Her name is Peyton McNabb. She was a high school volleyball player who suffered a severe head and neck injury resulting in long-term concussion symptoms after a girl who said that she's transgender spiked the ball in her face. Okay, if you ever want to look up the video, it's kind of gruesome. Just the speed at which this male hits the volleyball and smacks this girl in the face is just bizarre. You don't see this in normal sports, particularly in women's volleyball. And now she has been able to talk about her experience all across North Carolina and now across the nation. She faced some severe consequences because a man was in her space. Okay? That is fundamentally unfair to her, and she quite literally suffered physical consequences because of that. And we have stories of this time and time again. And when it comes to Riley Gaines losing to a male in a swimming match, that is just inherently unfair. And I'm glad that Donald Trump is taking this issue head on, because we deserve to have our own spaces. Period. That's okay. That is the freedom of association. That is the ability to own your own property. That's the ability to pursue happiness. And if we don't have that in the United States, then what's the point of the rest of our rights? So thank you, President Trump, for signing this order. Riley Gaines, thank you for speaking up about this. The amount of hatred this woman has gotten towards her has been absolutely insane. And then thank you, Peyton McNabb. What she had to go through, she almost had to be martyred for a cause, and that's something that should just never happen. So thank you, President Trump, for signing this order. People deserve to have their own spaces, and women deserve to be protected. And that's something that Democrats just can't wrap their minds around anymore. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on PolitiBrawl News. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.